A 15-year comedy veteran walked out of Holy City Zoo at 11:47 p.m. and never did stand up again. He'd just watched a 25-year-old Juilliard kid named Robin Williams perform for 7 minutes. 7 minutes that destroyed his entire career. "I've been doing this for 15 years, he told the bartender on his way out, and that kid just showed me I'll never be that good. Not in 15 more years, not ever." What happened on that tiny stage in San Francisco in 1976, in a smoke-filled room that held 78 people maximum, became the night Robin Williams stopped being an unknown actor and became a legend. But nobody who was there that night has ever forgotten the silence, not the silence of a comic bombing.
The silence of witnessing something that shouldn't be humanly possible.
San Francisco, 1976. The city was still vibrating with the aftershocks of the counterculture revolution. The summer of love was almost a decade gone, but the spirit remained. The hate was filled with remnants of the hippie dream. North Beach had the beatniks and the poets. And in the Mission District, in a building that looked like it might collapse if someone sneezed too hard, was Holy City Zoo.
Holy City Zoo wasn't a comedy club in the modern sense. It was a tiny, dark cavern that barely qualified as a room. Maximum capacity, 78 people, and that was if everyone sucked in their stomachs and didn't mind being pressed against strangers who smelled like beer and cigarettes. The stage was a small wooden platform, maybe 3 feet high, with a single microphone and a spotlight that flickered when the wiring got temperamental. The walls were brick, water-stained, and covered with graffiti from comedians who'd bombed there. The air was thick with cigarette smoke, cheap beer, and the particular smell of failure mixed with desperation.
But Holy City Zoo was real. No corporate sponsors, no TV scouts, no bullshit. Just comedians testing material in front of audiences who didn't come to be nice. They came to drink, to laugh if you earned it, and to destroy you if you didn't. Comics who survived Holy City Zoo could survive anywhere. Comics who thrived there were the real deal.
On any given Tuesday night, you'd find the same crew. The veterans. The guys who'd been grinding the San Francisco comedy scene for years, driving to clubs in San Jose and Oakland and Sacramento, sleeping in their cars, eating 1 meal a day, doing it all for 7 minutes of stage time and maybe $50 if the night went well. These weren't hobbyists. These were professionals, hardened, cynical. They'd seen every type of comic fail. The pretty boys who thought their looks would carry them. The political comics who lectured instead of getting laughs. The observational comics who just pointed out things everyone already knew. The character guys who did one voice and thought that was enough.
They'd seen it all, and they'd developed a particular contempt for one type of failed comic: theater actors. Guys who thought that because they could recite Shakespeare or perform Chekhov, they could do stand-up. They were always wrong. Always. Theater actors were too trained, too stiff, too serious. They didn't understand the fundamental rule of stand-up. You live or die based on laughs per minute. Nobody cares about your character development or your dramatic pauses. Get laughs or get off. So when Robin Williams walked into Holy City Zoo that Tuesday night in late 1976, the veteran sitting at the back table knew exactly what they were looking at: another theater kid about to embarrass himself. Robin was 25 years old. He'd graduated from Juilliard 3 years earlier, spent some time doing theater in New York, then moved to San Francisco to be closer to his family and try something different. He was wearing jeans and a flannel shirt, trying to look casual, but everything about him screamed, "Doesn't belong here." He was too clean, too nervous, too eager. He walked up to the sign-up sheet, wrote his name, and sat down at a small table near the front. At the back table, 4 veteran comedians watched him. Tommy Keller had been doing stand-up for 15 years. He was 38 years old, balding, permanently exhausted, and one of the best joke writers in the Bay Area. He'd never made it big, never would, but he was respected, a comic's comic. Next to him was Dave Chen, 12 years in, master of observational humor. Then Ray Patterson, 8 years, political comic with an edge. And finally, Marcus Webb, 6 years, the youngest of the group, but already jaded.
"Who's the new guy?" Marcus asked, nodding toward Robin.
"Theater kid," Tommy said, not even looking up from his beer. Juilliard or some shit. Heard he's been doing improv workshops.
Dave laughed. Improv, Jesus. Another one who thinks making funny faces is comedy.
Give him 5 minutes. He'll bomb. Then we'll never see him again, Ray said. It's Tuesday. The cycle continues.
The MC was a guy named Jerry, who'd been running Holy City Zoo for 2 years. He was good at reading a room, knew when to push comics harder, and when to pull them off stage before the audience turned violent. Jerry worked through the sign-up list. Local comics did their sets. Some got laughs, some died. The usual Tuesday night chaos. The audience, maybe 60 people that night, was drunk enough to be loose but sober enough to be mean if you gave them permission.
Around 11:30 p.m., Jerry checked his list. All right, we got a new face tonight. Fresh meat. Let's see what he's got. Put your hands together for Robin Williams. At the back table, Tommy Keller leaned back in his chair. Here we go. Watch this theater kid eat shit.
Robin stood up, and even the way he walked to the stage was wrong. Too bouncy, too much energy, theater kid energy, performative. He grabbed the microphone, adjusted the stand, and looked out at the crowd. The spotlight hit his face. For a moment, he just stood there, blinking, like he was figuring out where he was.
Oh, this is going to be bad, Marcus whispered.
Robin opened his mouth. So, hi, I'm Robin. I just moved here from New York. Well, not moved, more like escaped, like Alcatraz, but with better bagels and worse attitudes.
A few polite chuckles. Standard opening. Nothing special. Tommy took a sip of beer, already bored.
Then something shifted. Robin's entire body changed. His posture, his voice, his energy. He became someone else. You know what's weird about San Francisco? Suddenly, he was doing a thick New York accent, angry, confrontational. Everyone here is so nice. What's wrong with you people? In New York, if someone smiles at you on the subway, you check your wallet. Here, people smile for no reason. It's disturbing.
Bigger laugh. Okay, the kid had timing. Tommy sat up slightly.
But Robin wasn't done. He immediately switched. Now he was a California hippie, slow, spaced out. Yeah, man, we just smile, you know? Because the universe, man, we're all connected. You, me, that tree, that fire hydrant, we're all just one cosmic smile.
The audience laughed harder. The transition was instant. No pause, no setup. Just pure character work.
Then Robin became a third person, a tough guy from Brooklyn. I'm connected to a fire hydrant? What are you, high? Of course you're high. This is San Francisco. Everyone's high. The pigeons are high. The cable cars are high.
Now the audience was really laughing. But Robin wasn't milking it. He was already moving. He became an old Chinese grandmother, then an Irish cop, then a Southern preacher, then a robot, then a Shakespearean actor, then a game show host. The characters flew by so fast that the audience couldn't keep up. They were laughing, but they were also just staring, trying to process what they were seeing.
At the back table, the laughter stopped. The 4 veteran comedians weren't smiling anymore. They were watching. Really watching.
What the fuck is he doing? Dave Chen whispered.
Robin was doing a bit about riding the bus in San Francisco, but he wasn't just describing it. He was being everyone on the bus. The driver, annoyed and philosophical. The tourist, terrified and amazed. The local, completely checked out. The street performer who somehow got on the bus with a full drum set. Each character got maybe 10 seconds before Robin switched to the next one, and every single one was fully formed. Different voice, different posture, different energy.
Tommy Keller felt something he hadn't felt in years, a cold sensation in his chest. Fear. This wasn't just good. This was something else. This was a different level of comedy that he'd never seen before. The kid wasn't doing jokes. He was creating an entire world in real time, faster than the human brain should be able to process.
Robin moved into a bit about his Juilliard training, but instead of talking about it, he became his acting teacher. Pretentious, overly dramatic, deeply serious about the craft. Robin, you must feel the character. You must become the character. You are not acting. You are being. Then Robin snapped back to himself. Confused student. But sir, I'm playing a tree. How do I become a tree? Back to the teacher, even more intense. You must find your inner tree. What does the tree want? What does the tree fear?
The audience was howling. But it wasn't just the jokes. It was the speed, the precision, the way Robin could build a character in 3 seconds and make you believe it completely, then destroy it and build another one. Ray Patterson, the political comic, put down his beer. He felt sick. He'd been working on the same tight 5 for 6 months, refining every word, perfecting the timing. And this kid was up there creating new material, new characters, new entire comedy universes in real time, just making it up as he went.
Robin started riffing on the audience. He pointed at a guy in the front row wearing a 49ers jersey. You, yes you, sir. Big football fan? The guy nodded, smiled. Robin became a sports announcer. And here we have a specimen of the North American football enthusiast, identified by his plumage and his deep emotional investment in the performance of men he's never met. The audience erupted. But Robin immediately became the football fan, defensive. Hey, it's not weird. I care about the team, okay? Is that wrong? Then he became the announcer again. Note the defensiveness, a common trait when the football enthusiast is confronted with the existential void at the center of sports fandom.
7 minutes. That's all Jerry had given him. 7 minutes of stage time. But in those 7 minutes, Robin Williams did what most comedians couldn't do in an hour. He created 30 different fully formed characters. He did 50 different voices. He riffed, improvised, built jokes in real time at a speed that made veteran comics look like they were moving in slow motion. The silence in the room wasn't the silence of confusion or boredom. It was the silence of people watching something they'd never seen before, something that shouldn't be possible. The laughter would come in waves, but between the waves was this stunned quiet, like watching someone juggle chainsaws while doing calculus. At the back table, Tommy Keller stopped drinking. He just stared at the stage. His hands were shaking slightly. He'd been doing stand-up comedy for 15 years. 15 years of grinding, writing, refining, performing. He was good. He knew he was good. He'd headlined clubs, killed in front of tough crowds, earned respect from other comics. But in this moment, watching this 25-year-old kid do 7 minutes of the most innovative, creative, impossibly fast comedy he'd ever witnessed, Tommy Keller realized something that shattered him. He would never be this good. Not in another 15 years. Not in another 30 years. Not ever.
Robin finished his set with a bit about trying to meditate. He became a meditation instructor, calm and serene. Clear your mind. Become one with the silence. Then Robin, as himself, trying to meditate, but his brain immediately started creating characters and voices and scenarios. I can't clear my mind. It's too crowded in here. There's a New York taxi driver arguing with a French mime. How did they even get in there?
The audience exploded. Robin thanked them, put the microphone back on the stand, and walked off stage. The applause was deafening. People were standing. Jerry, the MC, was laughing, shaking his head in disbelief. At the back table, Tommy Keller stood up. He didn't say anything to the other guys. He just stood up, grabbed his jacket, and walked toward the door. Dave Chen called after him. "Tommy, where you going? Night's not over." Tommy kept walking. He pushed through the crowd, past the bar, and stepped outside into the cold San Francisco night. The bartender, a guy named Miguel who'd worked at Holy City Zoo for 3 years, was outside smoking. He saw Tommy's face. "You okay, man?" Tommy stopped, looked at Miguel. His eyes were wet. "I've been doing this for 15 years. 15 fucking years. Writing jokes, working stages, driving to shithole clubs in the middle of nowhere. I thought I was good. I thought I understood comedy." He gestured back toward the club. "That kid in there just showed me I don't know anything. He did in 7 minutes what I've been trying to do my entire career, and he made it look easy." Miguel didn't know what to say. He'd seen comics have breakdowns before, but not like this. Tommy pulled out his car keys. "I'm done, Miguel. I'm out. I can't do this anymore. Not after seeing that." "Tommy, come on, man. Don't make a decision like this at 11:47 at night because some kid had a good set.
It wasn't a good set. It was something else. Something I'll never be able to do. Tommy got in his car. Tell the guys I said good luck. They're going to need it. Because if that kid keeps doing what he just did, the rest of us are finished.
Tommy Keller drove home that night and never did stand-up comedy again. He'd been performing regularly for 15 years, but after watching Robin Williams perform for 7 minutes, he couldn't get back on stage. Every time he tried to write a joke, he'd hear Robin's voices in his head, see the speed, the creativity, the impossible talent. Tommy eventually became a comedy writer for local TV, successful enough, made a decent living, but he never performed again.
Inside Holy City Zoo, the other comedians sat in stunned silence. Marcus Webb finally spoke. "What the fuck did we just see?"
"The future," Ray Patterson said quietly. "We just saw the future of comedy, and we are not in it." Dave Chen, the observational comic, stood up. "I need another drink, a strong one."
Over the next weeks, Robin Williams became a regular at Holy City Zoo. Word spread fast in the San Francisco comedy scene. You had to see this Juilliard kid. You had to watch what he could do. Comics would show up just to study him, trying to figure out how his brain worked. They never figured it out. Robin's mind operated at a frequency nobody else could match.
By 1978, Robin was cast in Mork and Mindy. The show's writers would literally write in the scripts, "Robin riffs here," because they couldn't keep up with his improvisational speed. By 1980, he was a household name. But the comedians who saw him that first night at Holy City Zoo, that Tuesday in 1976, they knew. They'd witnessed the exact moment Robin Williams stopped being an unknown actor and became something else entirely. Jerry, the MC, kept a journal of every comic who performed at Holy City Zoo. Next to Robin Williams' name, on that Tuesday night in 1976, he wrote, "This kid just killed everyone's career, including mine. 7 minutes, 30 characters. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think I ever will again." Tommy Keller lived until 2019. He was 81 years old. He had a successful career as a comedy writer, won awards, made good money. But in interviews later in life, when people asked why he stopped performing, he always told the same story. About the night in 1976, when a 25-year-old kid walked into Holy City Zoo and did 7 minutes that destroyed his entire career. He wasn't bitter about it. He was almost grateful. "Robin showed me what comedy could be," Tommy said in a 2015 interview. "I couldn't do what he did, but I got to witness it. That's worth something. That's worth a lot, actually." When Robin Williams died in 2014, Holy City Zoo had long since closed. The building was torn down in the late 90s, replaced by condos. But the comedians who'd been there that night, the ones who witnessed the moment, they all shared the same story. Some of them quit, like Tommy. Some of them kept going, carved out careers, found their own styles. But none of them ever forgot the silence. Not the silence of bombing, the silence of 78 people watching something that shouldn't be humanly possible.
If this story about witnessing greatness, about the moment everything changes, moved you, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to remember that true talent isn't just about being good. It's about operating on a different level entirely. Have you ever witnessed a moment that changed how you saw your own abilities? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to ring that notification bell for more incredible true stories about the performances that became legends and the people who witnessed them.